15 years ago, social media was merely a phrase, something that some of us used and some did not. It is now considered the norm for 4.48 billion people. Assalamualaikum, my name is Safa Nuradila, and today I would like to convince all of you to not easily get influenced by social media influencer. You have probably heard the term social media influencer, right? However, what exactly a social media influencer? Simply said, they are individuals who have a huge number of followers. These individuals market themselves and know how to attract a lot of attention in this digital era. Instagram is the most popular social media influencer platform, followed by TikTok, Facebook, Twitter, Snapchat, and YouTube. Now, take a closer look at your personal style. Whatever items you now have, there is a good chance that one or two elements were influenced by a social media influencer. Personally, I felt like I was losing my sense of identity due to Instagram photographs that were not in the latest trend to support the common opinion that we should all follow the social standards. As a result, I became anxious, and it took me a long time to realize that other people's opinion, especially the famous figure, had no influence on how valuable I was as a person. I never thought much about the impact of getting influenced by social media influencers until I saw a news report earlier this year stated that young adults aged 18 to 23, including university students, wanted to become social media influencer instead of working a real job. After doing extensive research for this speech, it made me realize that getting influenced easily by social media influencers have bad impacts. Today, I hope to persuade each of you to not easily get influenced by social media influencers. Getting influenced easily by social media influencers is bad, but by following a few guidelines not to be influenced can help to prevent negative attitude and behavior in oneself. Now, let's look more closely on how to not get easily influenced by following few guidelines. From research by Booksnet, 77% people were influenced by social media influencers. Now that we live in a world where we are constantly being influenced, what should we do to stay true to ourselves? First of all, one of the biggest temptations when it comes to being influenced is fashion. Many of us load our closet with clothes that the other people admire rather than those we prefer. Besides that, there are plenty of social media influencers content advising us how to dress, what to wear, and what is out of date. In addition, the worst part is social media platform like TikTok provided a greater tool to put the link of the promoted clothing items on the videos that makes it easier for you to get influenced and eventually lead to impulse buying, because you will think that by having the same clothing items as the influencers, it will give the same outcomes. Aside from fashion, we are constantly bombarded with signals about what kind of person we should be. Every single social media influencer that we encounter on Instagram, YouTube, Twitter, or TikTok appears to have a different idea of success, how a daily routine should look like, and even what to eat in a day. If you are surrounded by so much influence by their curated contents, it will constantly overwhelm you. For instance, I myself have fallen into crippling anxiety over the fear of not styling my hijab beautifully according to the new trend as the famous influencers. Lastly, phrases like "do I look okay?" "is my hair fine?" are some of the many questions individuals ask themselves every day before going out. Before, I used to care a lot about what people thought of my appearance because influencers use social media platforms for the promotion of superficial beauty by manipulating and convincing young adults that they can attain beauty perfection. For instance, Instagram is well known for its filter, which help users beautify themselves in 1 second. The reality after using this type of beauty enhancer is that you will tend to ignore your real identity and natural appearance to reach the beauty standards portrayed by social media influencers. Let's move on to the solution. You can prevent yourself against getting influenced by social media influencers by following these guidelines. Firstly, know your own unique style. If you have been easily swayed into buying clothing items that were pre-approved by influencers, here are some ways you can begin to find your own self and your own style in your own closet. First, pull out your favorite clothing pieces out of your closet. Next, ask yourself what specifically you like about each item in terms of texture, style, color, length, and other aspects. Lastly, use this as a guideline the next time you are feeling influenced to buy a new piece of clothing by asking yourself, does this truly match my style? Taking time to declutter your closet can be one of the best ways to learn a lot more, not only about your style, but who you are allowing yourself to be influenced by. Next, know yourself better. Before you start adapting to an 18-step skincare routine or committing yourself to another year-long Pilates membership club or a baking class, just like the social media influencers, ask yourself these few questions. First, is prioritizing this in my life going to add stress or remove it? Second, was this something I cared about before the influencer made me feel like I had to? Third, have I attempted this before and failed? If so, how could I do it in a way that works for me? As soon as you start to feel that bubbling up of anxiety in your belly telling you should do something the way influencers does, pause and ask yourself if that thing really matters to you. Lastly, be your own judge of what is beautiful. Use your energy to stop comparing yourself to those filtered images promoted by influencers for something that would make you feel good about yourself, such as posting a selfie of yourself with no filter. Refrain from buying unnecessary beauty enhancer applications like Snow app, going a day without makeup on, and other things that define beauty how you see it. Since we already know some of the guidelines, let's move on to the negative impact if you are easily getting influenced. Negative attitude and behavior of oneself will not be prevented if you are easily getting influenced by social media influencers. Some of the negative impacts on university students are: first, getting influenced easily to an unrealistic life of social media influencers can cause inadequacy and harmful behaviors. Next, influencers' curated and edited content can create a distorted view of reality and feeling inadequate. And lastly, getting influenced easily to purchase viral items promoted by influencers will result in impulse buying of things you do not need. To conclude, getting influenced easily by social media influencers is bad, but by following a few guidelines not to be influenced can help to prevent negative attitude and behavior in oneself. Therefore, all of you must begin to know your own unique style, know yourself better, and be your own judge of what is beautiful. Remember to start to value your self-esteem today and be conscious of how other people are likely to influence your choice. You can avoid being the victim of social media influencers' bad influence if you do not allow anyone to tell you what you should think, feel, or do. Thank you.